And you even get a little pop-up that asks you to acknowledge that. So in order to get us started and keep us on time, one of my mentors was very big on the start on time, end on time concept of things. This is a Scout function. And so if you could all join me, raise your right hands in the Scout sign, appropriate to your program, and join us in the Scout oath. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country, and to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. Thank you. Quick safety message before we get into a lot of stuff. What we want to talk about safety message wise today is the concept of safety messages. Coming out of the bankruptcy, a lot of folks are very, very convinced that one of the major focuses we need to have as a program is going to be on safety, not just from a youth protection perspective, but even from the wanting to avoid doing paperwork perspective. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Make sure I can share this well. And can you all see my screen? Thumbs up or good? Excellent. Thank you, Brian P. So safety moments. The BSA has very, very strongly suggested any activity we have, any meeting we have should include a safety moment. If you're an attendee regularly at the virtual roundtable that takes place, you'll note that usually young Mr. Donlin there is responsible for providing the monthly safety moment at the roundtable meetings. Now, the scouting.org website has gone through a big redesign that rolled out about a week or so ago. It actually works really well, which is kind of a novelty, but there's a whole section about scouting safely and likewise about safety moments and the purpose behind safety moments. And for example, how to use a safety moment in scouting activities. There is a laundry list of topics available to you there that the BSA has put together, including my personal favorite, which is nap on safely, and tips for how to safely nap. There's also a link from there to the Scouts Canada website if you're looking for something totally different as a topic. But we want to strongly encourage you when you have a meeting, when you're doing an activity, especially with youth involved, and it's something they may not have, some of your scouts may not have had a lot of experience with, it might be a good opportunity to take a time for a safety moment. That being said, now I'm going to stop sharing this screen when I figure out how, and go back to my buddy Mark. And Mr. Barbonetz, who is our council executive, has a few things to say and is going to get us into the actual program. Mark, the floor is yours.
Great. Thank you, Brian. And welcome and good evening to each of you. Thank you for taking time out of your day to participate in this. We know how many important things and how many you actually have out. Appreciate you spending a little bit of time tonight to
Mark, you're muted.
So you're gonna make me repeat that. So sorry about that. Well, I can take two. Good evening, and thank you so much for taking time out of your day. We know how valuable your time is and how many meetings you already go to. So taking time out tonight to learn about what's coming up and get some tips and pointers and reminders is really, really appreciated. So thank you for all that you do. We've got a full program tonight, but a few things I want to mention before we get into the rest of the program. Some exciting things we have coming up. It's summertime. Yay, it's day 2 of summer. And that means day camp is coming. Day camp, exciting. We have 3 weeks at Treasure Valley, 1 week at Split Rock. We have funds available to help, not to pay for all of it, but we do have some funds available. If a parent, if they have 3 or 4 kids and they need assistance to come to day camp, please let us know. We really, really want to serve these young people. Getting them out to camp is a surefire way to keep them involved in scouting. Speaking of camp, we still have summer camp. Awesome summer camp coming up at both of our camps, Treasure Valley, Camp Winoxet. We got fantastic staff, excited, gearing up pretty soon to serve your scouts. New programs this year. Kelly's here with us, and I don't know if she'll be on later or not. But we got horsemanship at Treasure Valley. It's down the road. We'll transport the kids. It's a double session. It's a little extra fee, but it's well worth it to do a horsemanship merit badge. And we also have cowboy shooting. So really cool programs. If your troop hasn't signed up yet, you can still do that. Encourage provisional camping if your troop is not going for some reason, or if you have scouts that are not able to go the week you're going, please ask them, have them come provisional. We'd love to have them. So our camps are super great staff, and we really appreciate all that the staff is doing. Speaking of summer, this is the best time to keep your Cub Scout pack active. Unfortunately, some packs think they stop in April and pick up again in September. That's a long time for a 5 or 6-year-old or 7-year-old. Remember when you were a kid, summer lasted forever. The time frame for a young person is a long time to go 3 months without scouting. Please look at earning the Summertime Pack Award. It's super easy. Basically, it's 1 activity a month for Cub Scouts. Get your pack going to the park for a cookout. Take them to a Bravehearts game or a Woo Sox game. There's so many activities that your pack can do, but keep them together, keep them active. It'll make a huge difference in September when they come back for your regular scouting year. Speaking of regular scouting year, fall recruiting is coming up. Yes, it is. It's never too early to start thinking about recruiting Cub Scouts. We're going to be contacting each pack, and we're going to be asking you to give us the contact of who in your pack has a relationship with your elementary school. Somebody in your pack knows the principal, knows the secretary, is on the PTA, works in the school, and can help us get a meeting with the school principal. School access will increase your membership by 40% if we can have school access. So please be looking in your pack. If you already know who it is, let us know, and we'll reach out to that person and say, hey, can you make a phone call for us and help us set up a meeting with that school principal? It'll make the world of difference to recruit these young people come fall. We're really excited about it. But for now, that's all I have. I'll be back shortly, I guess, with popcorn. But for now, Brian, I guess I'll turn it back to you.
Do you want me to run that video now?
Yes.
Okie doke. Let's do that. We have a presentation from Trails and Popcorn regarding this year's council fundraiser. They could not join us in person tonight, but they've sent a alternative to us. So let's see if this works as well as I hope it does.
Don't forget the sound.
Can folks hear that, by the way?
No.
No? Okay. My apologies.
Hey, Brian, Jim McMath, it's not your problem. Videos don't play through Zoom. You have to download the video yourself.
Oh, good grief. And YouTube wants a heck of a lot out of me to download this thing, that's for sure.
Yep.
Um,
Brian,
I think
Brian,
when you're sharing, when you're choosing to share the screen, you can share your computer audio at that point. So it's
Okay.
not that you have to download it. I think you have to stop sharing, go back
Okay.
to share your screen, and it should give you the option of using your computer audio.
All right. We will,
By the way,
yes,
I asked
go ahead.
Brian to do this, so I didn't have to try to figure all that out. So thank you, Brian.
No problem. Glad to take one for the team, Mark.
That's right.
I can always throw up the slide deck too, by the way.
That's right. That's right. We'll do Plan B if we have to.
Okay, let's,
Okay, let's
try this. Let me try this one more time.
Okay.
Review about what popcorn is, how it helps units, and how it helps scouts. So without further ado, let's go through some of these slides. So as you can see on here, what can it do for your unit? It's the highest profit return out there for scouting. You can earn money for your unit's entire year. The council uses part of the proceeds to help with camps, with maintenance, leadership training, camporees, and everything else like that. It's a turnkey program that all sales are recorded inside the Trails and app, where we can cover credit card fees. All has a very easy reward program for scouts. There's Facebook communities, online selling platforms, and so many different things. Also, there's a lot of program support from your council staff, volunteers, and Trails End. And it can also be a source to recruit new scouts. So how do you sign up? Well, I put a QR code here for you. I'm going to hop to this side so you can scan it on your phone. You can also go to trails-n.com and sign up on the very top right of the website. And that's definitely one of the first steps you need to do. Okay, so how does popcorn work, right? So what are some of the ways to sell? How is this easy, and why does this make sense for your unit? Well, Trails End has seen a huge shift into the storefront sales, where people support your scout inside your own community. As you can see, here's some photos on the slide of scouts outside selling and raising monies within their communities. For instance, this pack up here, right above my head, they sold $1,300 in 6 hours. That's $225 an hour raised. Think of the commission, 34%. That's $76 an hour going back to the local unit, roughly $76 an hour going back to the council, and the rest playing for program and so forth like that, and the products. So as you can see, our average storefront across the country last year was over $125 to $150 an hour, with a lot of cases of over $200 to over $500. The math definitely works out within this fundraiser for people to make a ton of money to raise for their scouting program. All of it is so technology driven. We have a smartphone application, we have a unit leader dashboard that's mobile enabled, and everything, as you can see here, this is the dashboard where you log in, log storefronts, and make sure your scouts can sign up for it. Super simple. We've got a unit leader portal. This unit leader portal is mobile enabled, so a scout volunteer can go onto their phone and manage their scout roster, order popcorn, watch training videos, schedule storefronts, whatever it is to do to plan with your sale. It's a one-stop shop. As I said, mobile enabled, so you can do this from the palm of your hand, which is a big improvement in the 2022 campaign. And the smartphone application is for scouts, and the unit leader dashboard is for unit leaders. We also have the best online platform when it comes to fundraising in the scouting market. We have all the products there from traditional sales online at similar prices, if not less. You can ship directly to the consumer. Our average transaction was over $65 online last year, because it was usually friends and family members who purchased items for their scouts that they knew. As you can see, here's a picture of JD. He's a scout that is in Orlando, Florida, and he did his first share, and he sold over $450 just by sharing on social media, which all of our technology ties to. He wrote up his little bio about what unit he's in, what he's does with the funds, picked his favorite product, and then shared his page, and people started to support him. It's super simple. Definitely take a look at it. We also have a rewards program. This is Amazon.com driven prize program that the unit leaders have to do very little work, just hit release prizes. Why do kids like it? Kids get the prizes that he or she wants. There's more prizes. The more you sell, the more you earn. Millions to choose for from Amazon.com. And they get the prizes directly delivered with little unit leader interaction. Unit leaders, less work, no compiling orders from families or distributing the prizes, simple sale management tools. The leader portal is a one-stop shop, including all prize ordering that we run over, and it's automatically tracked. So very simple. All right, let's talk about products. So we can see some of the products here on the screen. Caramel corn in the bag, over 9 ounces of caramel corn. We've got popping corn, white cheddar in a full 9-ounce bag, unbelievable butter microwave, kettle corn, chocolate pretzels, salted and sweet and savory collection. So Trails End really likes to focus on quality and also focus on popcorn that's consumed at high levels of retail stores all across the United States. We also have peanut products, chocolate products, jerky, K-Cups, and other products online. So to sum it up, the best technology, very good products, a great reward system. Popcorn's going to make a lot of sense for your unit. And then I'm going to go back to the sign up slide. And I really do thank you for letting me speak to you today. I'm really excited about the popcorn sale and what you guys can bring to it. All right. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Thanks, Brian. Awesome. Thank you. And just a couple of things. I know those that have sold before, maybe ears perked up when they said 34%. Our council, your unit will earn 40% of the profit margin, 40%, and the council basically will end up about 27%. And we met with our volunteer team and we came up with this amount. I think it's a fair amount to help support the council as well. So we look forward to you participating. A couple of dates. I'm just going to, all this will be posted online and unit leaders will be getting this information as well. Your colonel, please sign up so we can have a direct contact. July 14th, we will have a unit colonel training. That will be in person, location to be determined, probably at the council office, maybe. Haven't been determined yet. And we'll have a Zoom training on July 26th and one on August 8th. So if you can, it's 7 p.m. for each of those meetings. If your unit colonel can attend one of those meetings would be great. The other key dates, the dates will pretty closely mirror what we did last year. August 15th, the show and sell orders will be due. And the pickup for the first show and sell will be August 27th. And again, those dates will be published and you'll have that. I just wanted to give you kind of a timeline heads up. Now, one of the things we always hear, especially from scout troops, is older kids can't sell, because it's true. A little tiger cub or a lion cub, boy, they can sell their socks off. You know, I'll buy anything from them when they smile without teeth and ask you to buy some popcorn. Yeah, okay, I'll buy it. But across the country, top sellers are the older Scouts BSA youth. And with us tonight is Gary Shepard. Gary had phenomenal results with his troop, and I've asked Gary to share a few minutes of how he did it. So thanks, Gary.
Sure. A number of years ago, the Harris organization did a survey about scouting's impact on youth, and the Tufts University followed up a little later with a similar survey, and both to try to develop some data-driven proof that scouting actually affects people's lives. And they both confirmed that when you spend time in scouting, you end up becoming a better person with solid metrics that they can prove and document this. But both reports also showed that while everybody benefits with a little bit of time in scouting, the people who showed the most benefit were the people who spent 5 years or more in the program. So my job as a scoutmaster is to try to get my kids to stay in the program for 5 years or more. Well, how do I do that? I mean, building bird feeders and playing steal the bacon is going to work for a little while. but it's not going to work for 5 years. So to me, to get my kids to say in 5 years, that means I got to do high adventure. Now, this may be some of the national high adventure bases, going to a national jamboree or a NOAC, or perhaps some high adventure that we do in this area here, like, you know, canoeing in the Adirondacks or, you know, northern Maine, or even weekend things like ski trips and whitewater rafting and stuff like that. Now, while these things are exciting and these things hold people's attention, the problem is they're expensive. And so if it's going to be expensive, how do we pay for all of this? Also, a few years ago, there was a Bankrate, which is a financial planning organization. They came out, they released a study that showed that 63% of Americans, if they were faced with a $500 unexpected car repair, they didn't have money in the bank that they could pay for that $500 repair. Now, that didn't mean they couldn't do it. They might put it on a credit card or borrow from grandma or juggle things around to pay for it. But the bottom line was that they didn't have $500 of disposable cash sitting in the bank account. Now, this may shock you, but that's the way we live. We take out as big a mortgage as we can to get in as good a neighborhood as we can and as nice a house. And so people, these 2/3 of Americans that don't have money in the bank includes people that live in big houses and drive brand new cars, and they live in Harvard and Groton and other affluent towns. And I guarantee you that most, if not all, of the families in your troop fall into this category too. They don't have a lot of spare cash. Now, if you can't come up with $500 to pay for a car repair, how are you going to react when your child comes home and says, hey, mom, dad, I want to go to the jamboree, and it's only going to cost $2,500? And what if you have two kids in the family that are saying, hey, it's only $2,500? This is a big issue. So what I say is, well, I assume that everybody in my unit cannot afford to go on these high adventure treks, but we got to go on these high adventure treks. So what I do is when I sit down with the parents, I say, you know, we're going to go on this trip and it's going to cost your child $1,600 or $2,000 or $2,500, but we're going to provide your child with a way to pay some or even all of that fee. Now, this calms the parents down and gets their attention. And now they're going to listen to the benefits of the program, because before they just would have shut it out saying, this is too much money, I can't come up with $2,500. But by telling them in advance, we're going to help them do this, they listen and we can talk about it. All right, does this really work? Well, in a little over a month, I'm taking 6 people from my troop, 6 kids and 2 adults, and we're going down to the Summit High Adventure Base down in West Virginia, and we're going to have a blast. And of these 6 kids, all of them earned at least half of the fee for the trip by selling popcorn. A couple of them hit 75%, and we had one guy who paid for his entire trip 100% by selling popcorn. I'm not a believer in selling popcorn. Being a believer implies that you're accepting something that you don't really know for a fact. I mean, I know for a fact that it works because we did it. And it was actually not as difficult as we thought it would be. Details on how you can do this yourself will be provided for you during these trainings, presumably. It's not that hard. The guy in the video mentioned some statistics there. We beat them. Our guys were putting $94 an hour into their personal scouting fund. And actually the troop was keeping 5% of the price. So the troop was getting a few bucks, and they made $94 an hour. Now that's something like more than 96 or 97% of the country don't earn that much money. You know, so we were out earning some of the top earners in the country with a bunch of 12-year-old kids. Let's see, the total that we sold was about $417 of product per hour in our show and sells. We did it a combination of show and sells and take orders. The guys who were going on the trip who only paid for half of the trip did just show and sells. The guys that had 75%, 100%, they did the take orders and the online sales as well. So again, works for us. We're going to the summit. We're gonna have fun.
Thank you, Gary. Awesome testimonial. Look forward to another great year working with you. So, Ryan?
Thank you, Mark. We had a slot in the agenda here to cover what's known as the PACE program. And I'll give you a quick overview of what's going on, and I'm going to give you something to look at other than me while I'm doing it. Nothing personal, just,
Is Rick Spur not on? I'm sorry.
no, he is not.
Okay.
So PACE is a program that was developed by our VP of Communications in conjunction with folks like Patrick Hanrahan, who you've all seen if you've gone to any of the council fundraising events, but also with involvement from folks on the district and council levels who schedule events. So both district chairs were directly involved. And there's now an online tool available off the council website to allow you to go in and schedule events. And a timeline associated with it. It's an organized process. The intent is if you want to do a Cub Scout event in December, then we want that into the system in 6 months prior to. So we want it in June. So we have enough time to do the proper publicity. So we have the correct time to get budgeting squared away, arrangements squared away, and we can drive the maximum number of people to that event and make it available to them. It's a very much automated process. I actually did one for this, which went through in less than 6 months because we knew it was happening. But it's rather automated in that there was even an article in the Heartbeat today, right at the top of the page, about the program launch tonight, which included the link to this meeting. Partly we wanted to make sure that our folks in the field, our frontline leadership knew this is what we as a council and our district committees as well, this is the process we're going to be following to set stuff up. So as stuff percolates up from our frontline leaders who provide us the best information, as it percolates up, can we do X or Y or Z? Then let's try not to think about doing winter events in November, but maybe let's start talking about them in March, April, May, so we have plenty of time to get things in and get things done properly. Same thing with summertime events. What you're about to see from several of the folks who are presenting program options now, you're going to see stuff that knocking on Formica is in the works in the PACE system to some extent, and may even be on the calendar. If something hasn't gone through that process, it's not going to show up. And that's really the requirement there. But enough about that. Mark alluded to where next week we start NYLT at Treasure Valley. We are less than a week away, less than 2 weeks away from summer camps opening up and units and scouts going out to our camps or to other camps and have a great time. So we wanted to give some time for both of our camps to talk about about their summer programs, but also about opportunities you as unit leaders would have to utilize those properties when we're not running summer camp, because the facilities we own, we might as well use them while we're here. So in the audience, Kelly is still here. Kelly Stickney. Hi, Kelly. How are you?
I'm good, thank you, Brian. How is everyone? Doing good, I hope. So would you like me to just jump on into Treasure Valley Scout Reservation?
Go for it.
Okay. All right. So for everyone that doesn't know me, I'm Kelly Stickney. I'm the camp director of Treasure Valley Scout Reservation. Treasure Valley is located in Rutland, Massachusetts, and it's also the home of our council office. So if you didn't know it, you're at Treasure Valley when you're at the office. So we have a really exciting summer planned. It's busy. I'm tired. We're in good shape, but I'm tired and I got a long way to go, but the staff is excited and we can't wait to welcome campers in another week. So we're heading into our staff week and there's still time to register for our programs. Like Mark had mentioned, we have cowboy action shooting, which is a new program for us. And you have to be 14 years or older to participate. And it's a very supervised one-to-one program. So it's very safe. And we're excited to share that with everyone this summer. We also have our horsemanship merit badge. There's still time to register for that. you can find that everything that I'm talking about tonight can be found on the Treasure Valley Scout Reservation website. It's all there. And if you have any questions, you can put it in the chat for me or email me. My email's on the site. So we have our horsemanship that you can sign up for, and it's a program that will be in the afternoon after lunch for a few periods. So it still gives you time to, take some other badges, but enjoy the horses at Camp Marshall. So we're offering that. And we have some specialty weeks. We have, if you haven't already, if you don't know, we have our STEM week. We have a special mountain biking week, and we have, what else do we have?
Eagle Week.
What is it? Eagle Week, Ken, yes, Ken, how could I forget? I'm sorry, I'm a little on the tired side, there's a lot in my head, but yes, Eagle Week, we've got a lot of provosts coming. Eagle Week has been very popular this year, and we're excited about it. But again, and we know a lot of scouts are already going with their troops, either to Treasure Valley or Winoxet, but you can always come back Provo and participate in any of these weeks. So we really want you to do that. Come, get your merit badges done, make your parents happy, check them off your list, and have a fun time doing it. And even there's more to camp than merit badges. We really want to make sure that the kids get their merit badges, but I know both camps offer just an amazing experience, that your scouts will, they'll bond with their own scouts. I know it gives my troop a great sense of pride, and they work together really well after a week of camp, and it's a great time. So we have that. And then, so other than summer, we are open year round, just like Camp Winoxet, and we want your units to come out camping. They're open. You can find, if you want to make a reservation. Now, granted, I'm going to tell you this, but reservations are not open yet for the fall, but they will be very, very shortly. But you can make reservations on the HNE website under program, under camping, and you can choose the camp that you want to make the reservations on. It's hne.reservationsbsa.org. So I know that's not right. I just said it, but it's all on the website. So, I love Treasure Valley. It's a great place to come visit. I hope to see lots of units out there. I can't wait to see our units this summer. And also I love seeing units come for the weekend. So again, if anyone has any questions for me, feel free to email me.
Thank you, Kelly. I think our camp folks are specializing in tired tonight. Will Neville's here from Camp Winoxet, and was saying before the meeting started how he spent most of today resting after doing a red eye yesterday. So I really appreciate you taking the time to do this, Will. Thank you. Floor is yours.
Yeah, of course. Hi, everybody. I know a lot of you were at some of our meetings early in the year that were Winoxet specific. But so I'll talk about the summer program really quickly, and then talk about what we have for the off season as well. One of the things, to lean back into what Gary was saying and what Mark was saying about older scouts, one of the programs we're really excited about and that we always have loved is our CIT program. It's a great bridge to keep kids in scouting through those older years. I know I stay involved in the program because of venturing, the OA, and camp staff, not as much of my troop. So our CIT program is still open and has slots. That is available on the website for your scouts who are interested, and it is not too late to sign up. They can even sign up partway through the summer. So please, if you have kids who are coming to camp weeks 1, 2, or you're talking to them now, get them signed up for the CIT program. We would love to have them. Also this year, we have a new water obstacle or a return of a water obstacle. The iceberg is back for those of you who are familiar. It had a leak and global warming wasn't helpful, but we once again have the iceberg. And also some of our pre-pandemic favorites are back as well. Some of our food programs that we had to axe last year are all back. So we're really excited about that as well. And finally, for our summer programs, one of the things that we are really proud of and have done for years is first choice badges. We will never deny a scout their choice of badge. We might shift the schedule. If they want it at 9, we might say you need to take it at 10. But every scout will get every badge they want at Winoxet, and that's something we're really proud of and have been for years. And now, so on to the off season. I love camp, and one of the things I love most about it is where it is, the lake it's on, the mountain it's next to. We have a gorgeous lake. It freezes over perfectly in the winter. So by, January, February, on a cold year, you can get out there. Please practice ice safety first. Have a safety moment. Also, we have the most climbed mountain in the world, or in the USA anyway. It's great. If you're going up for a weekend, my troop every single year would go up in December and hike the mountain and then come back down and try to warm ourselves. We got the tent sites are available if your troop is there in the off season and the weather is good. We have a couple great bunk cabins. We have a newly renovated Grand Monadnock Lodge that is great now that mixed units are coming to camp. So you can have those smaller housing segments for different genders, which is going to be key in the coming years for the program. And we have also, several other smaller cabins as well. The duplex, the cook's cabin, all available for you. As Kelly said, I don't believe reservations are open yet, but that is not my purview. I am excited. I have staff arriving in less than 48 hours to start our summer. So that's mostly what I'm focusing on right now. And I'm really excited to see some of you there weeks 1 through 7. So I think that's my piece, unless anybody, Mark, Kelly, anybody thinks I missed anything. Oh, and also for Kelly, shout out to Camp Marshall. That was my 4-H camp as a little kid. I went there before I got involved in Scouts. Camp Marshall's great. They're awesome. Go there for their horses.
Great. Well, thanks for that.
Thank you both. And when it comes to the summertime and it comes to our Scouts, we are fortunate as a council to have 2 phenomenal staffs and 2 phenomenal properties to support. And if they don't fit your units, we would just want you to go to camp. So if that's the choice that you make, fantastic, just go to camp. But obviously, we'd rather you go to one of ours first. Now, Matt's here. My buddy Matt Campaglia is here, and we're going to talk about advancement. Correct, Matt?
That is correct.
All right. Would you like me to bring that deck up?
Yeah, please.
Sure thing.
So we're going to hear 2 things. One is kind of an advanced orientation, kind of a brief description of what advancement has planned. And then Chip and John will take kind of a deep dive into the new Citizenship and Society Merit Badge. And perhaps, are my slides up or my...
I'm working on it.
Oh, sorry. I didn't see them on the screen. I figured I was in the wrong mode. Hey, there we go.
There we go.
There we go. You came through for me, Brian.
Least I could do.
All right. So yeah, here to talk about advancement. And on the next slide, I made some very wordy slides. One of our flagship programs is Merit Badge College, also called Merit Badge University. We're planning multiple Merit Badge College events in the next scouting year. The first will certainly be a continuation of a popular program, what we're calling Merit Badge College North. Basically, it's an in-person classroom style event. We get, pre-COVID, we were getting 250 or so scouts all at one school at the same time with maybe like 30 merit badge counselors. And we were teaching merit badges. In this kind of COVID timeframe, we didn't have it for 1 year, but we brought it back last year and we had about 100 scouts and probably 10, 12 different badges available. We plan on holding that basically February and March of 2023. We run that across 3 Saturday mornings, 2 class sessions and a snow day. It's still a bit challenging in the COVID era to find a location for this, but we did it last year at St. Leo's and had a good experience there. So we're certainly going to approach them again. Hopefully we'll have it there again. But keep your eye on social media and the Heartbeat to know where that is. Merit Badge College, virtual semester. We plan on running a virtual semester this fall. Registration's opening sometime in the middle of September. and the semester proper running from October into probably mid-October into mid-December. Now, where the in-person Merit Badge College is kind of like a day at school, the virtual semester is a little bit different. We ping all of our Merit Badge counselors and say, hey, would you like to teach a class virtually? And then the counselors say, yeah, I'm free Tuesdays from 7, like 3 Tuesdays from 7 to 8. So they'll teach their badge then. Another counselor may say, you know, I'm good Saturday mornings from 9 to 10. My badge is going to take 4 Saturday mornings. So they'll teach their class then. Kind of spreads the semester and all the classes out across a couple months. Certainly different. It's good to embrace given the given technology. All this registration stuff happens through the council website, Zoom links through council, all that good stuff. Keep your eye on social media for all that stuff. As you're probably aware, WPI also runs a Merit Badge University, and it's WPI's event. It's an incredibly well-run event. Sells out quickly. So if you can get a registration link for that, go ahead and register for it. But do me a favor, don't complain to me when you can't get in, because again, WPI runs the event 100% themselves, and it is a good event. On the next slide, we also run Life to Eagle workshops so that our Life Scouts can earn Eagle. And on the next slide, we are still working on exact dates for these. One of the reasons is we've been running a lot of them for troops. We've had a lot of troops pinging us saying, "Hey, run one just for us," and we've been known to go to individual troops and run them. We've also had special sessions just for them over Zoom. So that is an option if you're interested in it. But we will send out dates. Keep your eyes on social media for that. In the past, we've run exactly one type of Life to Eagle seminar where we answer certain questions, but oftentimes the questions that adults ask are different than the questions that Scouts ask. So we can skew the seminar for Scouts and for adults. Ideally, you'd attend the one associated with your role, but attending any one will be very helpful and you'll get all the key information. If you'd like to request one, ping Lori Renzoni. She does a great job running those. On the next slide is a description of what is covered at these Life to Eagle workshops, popular questions basically for the Scouts and from the adults alike. What makes a good project? How do you find a project coach? What signatures do you need? There's some admin trivia that goes on at these. How to submit the proposal, who to submit it to, how does fundraising work? All these kind of little questions that both Scouts have and things that you need to cover before you start off on your project. You know, for a lot of these kids, it's the biggest thing they've ever done, and you get one good point of view from your unit, but it's also good to have a point of view and required to have a point of view from a district volunteer who runs, who's seen a million of these things and can point out obvious problems and things you may have missed. On the next slide, there's a new merit badge called Citizenship in Society. The diversity and inclusion merit badge, if you will. And on the next slide, you'll see that it is required for Eagle. It's still 21 badges. So you still need to earn 21 merit badges to get Eagle. That hasn't changed. It's still 13. Well, it was 13 required, 8 elective. Now we're adding Citizenship in Society. So it's 14 and 7 rather than 13 and 8. This requirement becomes effective July 1st. That's in 8 days, 9 days. So if you have a Life Scout, have him finish right now, and he won't have to earn that. Window on that is probably pretty much closed. So basically, if you're Life at this point, you pretty much are going to need to earn Citizenship in Society. We have 30 counselors in the council. working on getting more to support the scouts that are going through this. On the next slide. I won't read this. Well, I kind of went over this and I won't read all the gory details out to you, but basically this badge again becomes required on July 1st. You all get a copy of this presentation, so we can take a deep dive into all the administrivia here a little bit later, but basically it's required as of July 1st. And on the next slide, if you would like to become a counselor, you can. This badge it's a little different. It's not taught really in a big classroom kind of cattle call setting, if you will. Some merit badges we can do that with, your citizenship in the community, nation, and world. You can get a ton of people in a room. It's very lecture based. This one isn't. It's very kind of one-on-one discussion based. So you kind of have to get oriented to that. And there is some training online you can take in order to become a counselor for citizenship and society. All those details are here. And I believe on the next slide, there's even some more details. You will also hear some more details from Chip and John earlier. Useful links for becoming a counselor and useful links for learning more about the badge are right here. And I believe there's another, and there we go. And as you get a copy of this, I figured I'd put all the district advancement chairs information here. Should you have any questions about advancement or a kid becoming Eagle or becoming a merit badge counselor. I believe that was my last slide. And this presentation will then kind of, I'll give the floor over to Chip and John.
Hey, Matt, can I interrupt really quickly?
Yep.
I just want to say that National has specifically said that it should not be taught at summer camps. And I've gotten that question a bunch of times.
That's true.
So I just want to, reiterate that for everyone here.
Yeah, they explicitly use the phrase small groups. And you can argue whether a small group is 2 scouts or maybe 5 or something like that. But it's certainly not a huge group of people. And they do also talk about the setting of the badge. And they really do want it to be kind of more one-on-one, very much discussion based, in a, kind of one-on-one with an adult. They suggest not teaching it at an event like Merit Badge College and not an event like camp. It's explicitly stated. So that's absolutely correct. I believe that was my slide. I will yield the floor to Chip and John to kind of take a deeper dive into citizenship in society.
You're muted, John.
Thanks, Matt. I'm John Travers, Scoutmaster for Troop 4 at Raystone Post in Shrewsbury. Joining me is my Assistant Scoutmaster, Chip Collins. Scoutmaster for 10 years. I've been teaching the citizenship merit badges for about all 10 years. So when citizenship and society came up, it was kind of up my alley. I am an assistant principal in Marlboro High School, and we're a very diverse population. So for the last 2 years, we've been doing a lot of work on anti-race, anti-bias in our district, where Chip is a special ed teacher in Hopkinton. So he works with this kind of scenario every day. So as Matt said, I think the biggest difference with this merit badge is the other citizenships are all a lot of writing, the Bill of Rights, famous speeches like the Gettysburg Address. This one is all scenario or vignette based, talking with the boys about things that they will be exposed to. So number 3, for example, are ethical decisions that you as a young man, may go through. So from my teaching background, today's world of social emotional issues out of the pandemic, a lot of young people are self-medicating with the Juul or the nicotine device at school. Other things we see is, plagiarism in school, cutting classes. So as far as the do's and don'ts for instructors for this merit badge, I will tell you, after 2 years of professional developments in the summer, many of our staff still did not feel comfortable talking with our students or even our colleagues on topics like equality, inclusion, and equity. So my number one rule of thumb is, you really have to be vulnerable with this merit badge. Kind of using the EDGE method, I wrote out all my scripts, all my scenarios that I go through every day at school as an assistant principal, because unfortunately behavior and conduct are up my alley. But, for me to share what I see, my experiences, which is really following the EDGE method, but being vulnerable enough to build that trust. And obviously, as a scoutmaster, I already have a relationship with the boys as his Chip, as the assistant. But I think, this is a rather unique merit badge where you've really got to bring in and model your own real world examples first about, times that in the business world, you've seen some equity issues, some issues with inclusivity, whether it's, keeping women down in the workplace, the LGBTQ society not being honored in the workplace, and like sharing those kind of scenarios. Number 6 was a very difficult one. We have to identify with someone that that's going through possibly some like harassment or being treated not like they've been included in activities. And I'll let Chip talk about that, because he brought in a guest speaker and his mother that floored everyone when we went over that. Chip?
Thank you. Yeah, number 6 is this whole merit badge is quite challenging. Like John said, you pretty much have to be vulnerable yourself and be very comfortable with talking about some of these topics and just be able to talk about them, but also know your audience about what's going to be happening, because you may have scouts that you don't realize may have different biases in trying to just straight through of, talk about what different scenarios they may be in. But number 6 is, trying to find someone that may have been marginalized. And that's not an easy thing to come up with, like, oh, let's go find someone. It's not easy. In my area of special ed, and I also run in Shrewsbury Challenger Baseball, which is a basically like unified sports or Special Olympics baseball, where you pair up an individual with special, like either impairment physically or intellectually, and then you have a partner. So I had a gentleman that is he's South Asian as well as medically challenged. He's had over 37 different surgeries. He's basically a miracle person walking, but he's full of life. But he does share that it's difficult for him because he is very active and very enthusiastic young man. And to, for him to talk about, like, he gets bullied because of his stature, because he's shorter. And that's just who he is. And sometimes he gets teased because at lunch, he won't eat at lunch because he has to have a feeding tube, or he has to have his trach cleaned up. So that's just his medical thing. Also, just, being very, very sensitive to the area of being, as he refers to as, I'm a brown individual, and I'm very proud of my culture. And his mom, which is a very, unique young lady, she grew up in Shrewsbury during the time when, as she refers to, and these are her words that I would never, use it. She goes, I was a brownie in a white society, and it was not easy growing up. And people looked at me very differently because I did not fit in a white society. And then having a son that is very medically challenged, she gets a lot of interesting looks sometimes. So she's very open with how people may, how they perceive her and how it was growing up. She said it has changed over time, obviously, but to find someone like that that's willing to share some of the stories, how people look at her or treat her, especially, just because she's South Asian, she would get the look, especially after 9/11, oh, you're a Muslim, da da da. And that's not the case at all. So it was a very, she explained all those type of things. And she also said to us, we are brown, but we are also human being. And just remember, always keep it humanistic, especially when she was talking to the boys. If you have a question, it's okay to ask questions, but just remember, you may not like the answer you're going to get because it's going to be different from yours. So, so she's a very, but trying to find someone to, willing to come and talk about, oh, yeah, I've been marginalized. John works with a unique population at Marlboro, and I work with all students that are, from on this, that are on the autistic spectrum to, highly intellectually disabled to, just moderately, what they call learning disabled. And they talk about that, the inclusion, being included, because a lot of times the kids will, just use the word, I'm going to the sped room, which I'm a sped teacher, so I'm used to it, but a lot of kids don't like to hear that word because that's also equated to something like the R word, and that's totally different. So, oh, you get to go to the sped room to take your tests and do your quizzes. Oh, they must help you cheat. Oh, that's not the, and that's just a whole different, no, that's not what's happening. It's just I learned differently, and this is what I need to do. So me talking to my students about, having to talk to them about, inclusion and what it means for them, and then bringing it into the troop and talk to them what inclusion is. It's interesting because some of the boys will then share, oh, I go to a special education room. I go, then that's okay. You should share that, be proud of who you are. And a lot of this is understanding who you are as a person. And it really fine tunes the Scout oath and the Scout law. It really digs deep in there of, you can tie in everything into, what it is to be a Scout, and this particular merit badge hits upon all those, but it definitely has to be taught in a small group, and you definitely need to be comfortable in discussing some of the heavy duty stuff. When I say that, you have to be able to have a conversation about what is it to be a racist. You know what I mean? What are some examples of it? But also letting the kids, the boys and the girls have to understand they're limited in their exposure. So we're trying to help them understand what's going on. And they have some ideas, but it's really hard when you're trying to have a discussion with someone. Oh, so have you ever met someone that's been, harassed or marginalized? And it's hard for them to relate that to it, especially when, they come from it depends on what type of community they're living in. Like if they're living in a city, they have a little bit more understanding of what's going on. But if we're talking, a suburb or a rural little town, they don't have diversity too much to pull on. So they're kind of at a disadvantage with that. And so trying to have them have that exposure to them.
Chip, let me add on and piggyback with your comment too, because, we all think we know our Scouts. We know who they are, where they come from. But, you never know what trigger that you may hit. So when we talk about this is, some pretty sensitive discussions. When you talk about being harassed, you talk about being marginalized. We never really know our Scouts well enough to know that may be a trigger. One of them may, ask, can I get up and leave for a minute to compose themselves, because we hit a raw nerve with them. And we didn't know that discussion was going to hit a raw nerve. But that's part of what we talked about, is if you feel uncomfortable, if we discuss something and you need to get up, you need to walk away for a minute, it's okay. Because we just don't know what kind of triggers that we may hit with our young people, that we just don't know their experiences and backgrounds enough to know what might hit a nerve.
My suggestion about when you're starting this is just don't jump right into it. Like, oh, let's go with requirement 1 and start going over stuff. Really develop ground rules with like John said, it's okay to get up and leave. If something is, you're finding, that's upsetting, it's good for you to leave. But also really make sure like you have a good rapport with the scouts, but just, be open with it and just say, this is not an easy topic for most of us to talk about. If you are honest coming from yourself about this, the scouts will follow right along with you. Just don't act, like a lot of the merit badges, we have a lot of experience and we can teach them that. And that we're the expert in that area. This here, it's hard to be an expert in this stuff because we all have different experiences and coming from different areas of what we're doing. And to have an understanding of, what, different people have in the LGBTQ community, or having someone to be discriminated about wearing glasses, for goodness sakes, you know what I mean, like really sometimes you have to make like fun of yourself in a way to kind of break the barrier down so they feel comfortable in sharing things. So you have to yourself have to become vulnerable as well. So it can be it does come upon different emotions do come up. So if you're thinking about doing this merit badge, I would definitely look at the requirement very closely to see if you can really speak honestly about them, but as well as looking at different resources that are out there on talking about these different topics. There's plenty of stuff out there, but also looking at what the BSA has offered, like on equity and inclusion and everything. Look at what they put together, but take it one step further. Look at different organizations that talk about these type of groups and how they support them and everything. To the point that if you know someone, to go back to that gentleman that talked about like getting to keep your pack going and everything, if someone knows someone that is in a school system that's in your pack, your troop or anything, get a hold of them because this is what we have to, John and I are in schools. This is what we have to talk about on a regular basis. We have different classes. I am by far no expert on this, but I am very comfortable in having an honest conversation about this with students so they can feel comfortable, and my scouts.
I think it's.
I want to thank you for your perspectives on this, because you're coming from a place most of us have not had a lot of exposure to. It is deeply appreciated, and I want to say that at the outset. But would also ask if you can drop emails for follow-up that we can share with people into the chat.
Good thing.
So we can keep moving along.
Yep.
But thank you so much for that. That was way above and beyond what I expected to get. And I consider that a bonus. Thank you.
Thank you.
So from a program perspective, we're going to go outdoors because we're putting the outing in scouting again. And we're fortunate enough to have Dan Fuller with us tonight, who is the Lodge Chief for Catamount Lodge, and who's going to talk to us about what the Lodge has coming up this year. So Dan, the floor is yours.
All right, thank you very much. So hopefully on screen now you can see the calendar that we have coming up. But before I get into that, just as a little introduction to what the Order of the Arrow is for anyone who may not be familiar with it. It's an organization that the common, I guess, catchphrase or descriptor used for it is Scouting's National Honor Society. And it's an organization for individuals who really embody the points of the Scout Oath and the Scout Law, and they live up to it in their everyday lives. So we provide service and events to the council and our members of the Order of the Arrow. This past May, we had a very successful event at Treasure Valley. We had an attendance of over 60 members. We were able to induct 15 new members into our lodge which is fantastic. And we are looking forward to being able to call out these members as well as any members are not, sorry. We also had our election season, and we are looking forward to being able to call out those individuals at both Winoxet and Treasure Valley this summer. Every week we'll have our call out ceremony. So moving into this fall, we'll have 2 weekends, one at Winoxet and one at Treasure Valley. At Winoxet, it'll be September 9th to the 11th, and that will be an opportunity for anyone who was elected this past fall, as anyone who was elected, as well as anyone who was elected last spring to go through their induction process. And then in about mid-October, the 14th to the 16th, we'll have an event for people to come together at Treasure Valley. This will also be where we will elect our new lodge officers for the coming scouting year. In January, the 7th or the 14th, the date is still a little bit up in the air. That's something that we'll work through, especially with our new chief, whoever that may be. We'll have our Winter Fellowship Day as well as our annual banquet. This is a little bit of a change of what we've been doing in past couple of years. We've normally been having the banquet in November, but we decided that we'd try in January this year, just see how things go. If it goes great, we might continue that. If it doesn't work out the best, we might go back in November. But we thought we'd give it a try just for a little bit of change. And again, that's a date that has not been set in stone yet. April 1st, we'll have a spring service day. This is something that we tried this past fall, where we were able to work with community organizations as well as other scouts and units to provide service to our community that we all share, we all live in, and able to provide back. So that went really well this past spring. So we're looking forward to doing it again next year. The weekend of the 28th to 30th, we are looking to have another Woo Sox game. Again, this was something we did this past fall and it went really well. It's only going to be one day or evening. The reason why we have the entire weekend blocked off is because the Woo Sox have not yet published their 2023 schedule yet. So we're not sure if when they'll be home and what times the games will be and all of that. But that is something that we'll absolutely release more information about as we approach that date. And then next May 19th to 21st, we'll have another induction weekend. This one will be at Winoxet, so that anyone who was unable to complete their induction either this past spring or this coming fall, they'll have an opportunity to do that at Winoxet next spring. So that's my quick little rundown for our activities. Is there anything that anyone would like to add or question? All right, so then,
Daniel.
thank you. Yeah, I was gonna say, that's all I have, and back to you.
Thank you so much. And for your reference, any of the stuff you're seeing on the screens today relative to slide decks, and I have a decent amount of save the date flyers. Those will all be up within a day or so on the virtual roundtable page on Facebook in the files section. So you can get a hold of them and print your own out there. Kathy, can you talk to us a bit about Weeblo's Woods?
Yes, I should unmute it first.
Only if you want to.
I don't know, maybe you don't want me to. So Weeblo's Woods is a great opportunity for your Weeblos and your AOL scouts to come and experience a day in the life of a Scouts BSA member. Come to Winoxet in the morning, you take an adventure badge so you can earn it there. You get to experience BBs and rifles and slingshots, the climbing wall. I mean, there's so much to do. And it's actually taking a week of Scouts BSA camp and squeezing it into 24 hours. So it's a great opportunity for your Weeblos and your AOL scouts to get out there, camp, cook their own meals, and start that transition into being Scouts BSA. So it's the 24th and the 25th of September. And the cost is $25 per Webelow and one parent or guardian. If you want to bring siblings or an extra parent, it's an extra $10 cost. T-shirts will be available on pre-order only, and everybody that comes will get a patch. Any questions? Okay. I'll share my email address.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Let's talk a little training. I see Jay Gormley, who's our council training chair. I feel like, what's her name from Romper Room, looking in the mirror. So how are you doing tonight, Jay?
I'm doing well. Hope you're all doing well. So I won't take up too much of your time with training. So we just had a successful spring mega training where we did ILS Blue. We did not do Wilderness First Aid, but that is coming up. So we saved the date for October 21st, 22nd, and 23rd is the next mega training weekend. So we'll be offering iOS and Blue. That'll be $35 per person. We'll be also in Scoutmaster specific training Friday night. That's $5 for anyone who needs that. That's a course you can also do online, but if you want to hang out with an in-person one, it's not a bad way to do it. Wilderness First Aid will be offered by Solo through the night. That's a Saturday and a Sunday. That's $250 for Scouts and $275 for somebody who is not really in the BSA program if there's any spots left open. We also have Leave No Trace, the I forget which course, the awareness course for $90 could happen that weekend. So that's October 21st, 22nd, 23rd. What else we got? We also have save the date for a Leave No Trace Master Educators course. That's going to be at Camp Onoxet, and that's April 22nd and 23rd of 2023, and May 6th and May 7th and May 8th of 2023. That's all the dates for that one Master Education course. I saw Tim's here. He could probably talk more about that. We already talked about NYLT. So I think the one thing I did want to pass on, for all the adult leader trainings for your units, one big thing is you have to be an adult. So for IOLS Blue, you need to be 18. For Scoutmaster, you need to be 18. Wilderness First Aid, you can be a Scout. But for the ones that are, say, adult leader training, we can't accept anyone who's not 18 yet, even if they are your JASMs or some other program. It just it complicates situations with overnight camping. And we have Wood Badge come up, but I see that Chrissy's here, the course director. I'm sure she has a couple words to say for Wood Badge.
First, why would I pass up an opportunity to say something? Hi, everyone. So we are going to be having a Wood Badge course. It'll be this fall, kind of late summer, early fall. The dates for it are August 26th, 27th, 28th, and then September 17th and 18th. It is 5 days. You do have to take one full day off of work, but we do have a letter that you can send an employer to see if they'll not only let you have the day paid, but also maybe they'll pay for the training for you. We have a lot of that information. We are going to extend the registration deadline to July 23rd. So there's still some time to sign up for the course. It was originally July 1st, but we're going to extend it to July 23rd. Wood Badge is an amazing program. You're going to learn really how to put all those skills that you learned at IOLS. My screen just totally went berserk on me. I'm sorry. Like clicked on its own. You're going to learn how to advance all those skills you're learning at Scoutmaster Fundamentals and IOLS. We really dive deep into specific topics. We have things like train them, trust them, let them lead. It's going beyond just the EDGE method and showing them how to do that. It's really figuring out how to trust your scouts, because as leaders, we know it's hard to, one, watch them fail, but we know they need to fail, but how to do that in a secure environment where they're going to feel safe and like it's okay to make these mistakes. Because if you don't make mistakes, you can't learn. And we need to be able to help them learn from those mistakes. But same thing with being a leader. As a leader, we will all make mistakes, but how do we move on from those? And how do we make things better for our units? How to communicate better, how to, teach our scouts better so our scouts can become better leaders within the unit. Managing conflict. That's another big one that we have, because we know that not everybody's going to get along with everybody else. So whether it's adults or youth within your troops or packs or crews, it's open to everyone. So definitely sign up for it. There is a lot of information that we do throw at you, but we do it in a very fun and organized way. One of the new cool things we're doing this year, and I'm actually excited for it, is instead of bottle rockets, we're doing the Newton cars. It's always been an option, but I've never been on a course where we've done them. So I'm very excited that we're going to be doing the Newton cars. And as patrols, you guys will be able to figure out how to make that work. And it'll be interesting for me to see because I've never done them before. So I'm very excited about that. The course is $300. We do have very limited scholarships. Sometimes troops and packs will supplement the cost. Sometimes your employer will supplement the cost. Just reach out to us and let us know what you need. There are a lot of faces on this call tonight who've either spoken to you or maybe you're seeing just in passing who are actually staffers on the course. So go ahead and wave everybody if you're on the course staffing. We've got quite a few. So that's awesome. A lot of familiar faces. And this isn't just open to people within the council. It is open to people from out of council as well, because we are doing this as a cluster course. So we're joining forces with not only our council, but Spirit of Adventure, Cape Cod and Islands, and Mayflower Council as well. So if you've got some friends and some other councils who haven't gone through this training yet, one, ask them why not, and two, sign up, have some fun. It'll be a great weekend, or 2 weekends really.
All right, guys. Yeah, that's so please sign up for Wood Badge to hang out. I saw Brian there, Chrissy, myself. A lot of people will be there. But that's all we have for training right now. We hope to get the spring dates locked down. But right now, the only day we have is for the October mega training weekend. So we hope to see most everybody there for something, or pick up something, or hang out. Either one. Any questions? I just dropped my email in the chat. I'll be glad to answer anything, except from Tim. No questions from Tim.
Thank you all very, very much. I am so appreciative. Mr. Bradbury.
Yes, sir.
Now that you have bothered to take the time to spend a lot of time with us, would you care to go over this stuff?
Sure. So folks that don't know me, I'm Tim Bradbury. I'm on the shooting sports committee for the council and a couple other hats I wear. So what you guys are seeing up there on the slide deck is a number of trainings that are being offered through the committee and through Crew 250 out of Harvard. So you don't always see them on the council stuff because this is how we do our fundraising for the crew. So for a lot of times people ask us, hey, how do we get more shooting sports opportunities in our council? The first step is having adults that are over the age of 21 that are certified range safety officers. And that course is being offered on September 11th. Then we have some specific instructor level trainings that are happening throughout the fall. You guys can see listed there. And we also have our own wilderness remote first aid course that is run the first weekend in October. And we charge $150 for that, not the 250 or the 275. And that's because our instructors don't get paid for those. It's scouting volunteers doing those trainings. So this is going to be in the slide deck. It's easy enough to get to. I'll put my email in the chat. And one other quick thing is going back to the training stuff during the mega training weekend. The LNT course is actually an LNT trainer course, not an awareness course. So people will get certified as LNT trainers. That's a 2-day, 16-hour course. That's during the mega training weekend. Back to you, Brian.
I took the liberty of putting in the email addresses you provided me for the instructors for those courses.
Better. I don't have to type now.
Exactly. But the other thing too, being that way, folks can grab the slide and reach out as they see fit and make sure costs and make sure dates and whatever else they may need to know. I know one of the ones that at least is not showing on my screen. There's a specific note that it starts Friday night at 7 p.m. sharp.
Yep. Some of the training courses are, we're doing shooting sports stuff. They are time-based. So to actually get 18 or 20 hours of training in, sometimes we have to start on Friday nights.
Okay. I am going to struggle with my computer again a little bit here, but I would like to point out while I'm fishing for stuff, we have a fishing committee, if you weren't aware. And we have a number of folks, some on the call, who are certified angling instructors with the BSA. So they are certified to teach people, especially scouts and especially Cub Scouts at recruiting events, get them exposed to fishing properly. Mr. Beck, are you still on the call?
I am here, Brian.
Excellent. So let's see how this comes across. Can you see that?
Yeah, I think there is one date missing there, Brian, and it's kind of
Okay.
hidden with your, that white border. But I'll
Okay.
go through those. So everybody, I'm really excited about this. Certified angling, it's a great thing for our council. For a lot of reasons, fishing has proven to be a hook 'em for scouting. If we can get our youth started fishing, then we can keep them in our program because they're having fun and it's an inexpensive proposal. So we have a great committee. I call them a team. A lot of different folks have stepped up to help out. Rodney Fagan out of Gardner is my co-lead on this. But a big step up for Eric Coldwell, Dan Scotty, Scott Carignan. They've all stepped in to help out tremendously. Dave Harrelson down in Webster as well. We think we have some dates for everybody. We're going to go through the PACE program and make sure this gets promoted properly. But we're looking at promoting a September 3rd TVSR fishing event for Cub Scouts. Looking for an October 1st event for our Scouts BSA troops. Hopefully either at Buffinville or at Rutland State Park. That'll be determined here very shortly. In January, we're going to do some ice fishing. I have a former scout leader, many of you may know, Matt McCabe, out of the Charlton area, who is quite the angler, and he's agreed to help lead an ice fishing derby, if you will, along with his fishing club. April 15th, we're going to return to Camp Collier for another chilly day of fishing, but it was an awesome spring fishing day this year. We'll have that for our Cub Scouts. April 22nd, we're going to continue our second annual TVSR Heart of New England Council Fishing Derby. This is really to promote community efforts of ensuring that we work well with our neighbors. As you can see, there are 4 contiguous towns to Treasure Valley Scout Reservation, and we want to make sure that they get to see Treasure Valley, and many of them have not seen the reservation before, and others that would like to fish at Browning Pond during the non-camp season particularly. So we're going to continue that. And then on May 6th in 2023, we're going to have another TVSR or maybe another location fishing event for Cub Scouts and Scouts BSA. And we're hopeful at that time that we'll be able to have our Scouts BSAs do a little bit of edge training with the Cub Scouts and be involved in both helping train Cub Scouts as well as ensuring we have a safe fishing event. Brian?
Wow, first I blew up Chrissy's screen. Now I can't unmute myself. My goodness, I'm having a great night. Thank you, Mr. Beck. It's really appreciated. So we have covered everything that I am aware of right now at the council level. That's not the only place we're going to get information to you relative to events, relative to things that are happening. We have 2 districts. Quinnipoxet, for those of you who are aware, which is the eastern portion of our council, and Soaring Eagle, which is the western portion. And the 2 district committees and their activities people are working really hard to put together a slate of activities that can be utilized by your units to enhance your program. And also some specific things to allow us to recognize folks. And we have with us tonight Brian Donlin, who is on the District Activities Committee for Quinsigamond, but also Dan Newman, who is the District Committee Chair, if you didn't know that. So guys, I'm going to throw this up, pardon the pun, I'm going to put this up on the screen and leave the rest of it up to you. Realize that that is not going to be, everything that's on this page is not visible. So I will do what I can to try to drag it down, but we shall see. It's all yours.
All right, so I guess, Dan, you gonna come in, or do you want me to just do this all by myself?
Ryan, you're in charge of this. I give
Oh,
all the credit to you.
thanks a
Go
lot.
for
Thanks
it.
very much. All right, I'm gonna make this quick and painless. All right, so as you can see, the first thing on the list here is the district dinner. It's September 19th. That's going to be the location for that's going to be at Barber's Crossing in Sterling, Massachusetts. And it's going to run from about 6:30 to about 8:30 p.m. And it's a place to have some food, fun, and to get some awards. The Quinneboxet District Award of Merit will be awarded to those who are nominated and approved by the committee. They will receive this award at this event, as well as a new award called the Spark Plug Award. This is new. When I say new, it's new to me. And this is for the people in your unit who has pretty much kept the scouting spirit alive in your unit and has gone above and beyond the call of duty as far as you feel. The nomination forms will be on the council website in the near future. And there's also going to be many other awards presented, like the Scouter Training Award and all other things like that. And it's going to be a great time, and it's going to be a good time to like come and visit some old friends that you made at summer camp and make some new friends. Anything to add, Dan?
Nope.
Quick question, Brian and Dan. Should we go off of the weekend being the third full weekend and the third Tuesday? Because those dates do not jive with the calendar this year.
It's actually the third Monday.
Yeah, third Monday. Yeah. So basically, what we've tried to do with our council is make it a yearly thing. So you can look in like 2027, and the district dinner will be that third Monday in September. So that way you can plan, you can count on those dates being the same pretty much every single days or dates being the same every single year. You all set with that, Tim?
Yeah, they just didn't line up. So that's why I wanted to ask.
Well, it's a good thing you pulled out your phone and looked at it.
And then the fall camp, once again, the dates don't line up, but that's the OA weekend. It is what it is.
Yep, that's the same weekend as the OA weekend. Weeblos Woods, Kathy's already kind of discussed that. That's gonna usually always is the last weekend in September. The fall camporee, those dates again, October 14th to the 16th. A camporee is a great way for units to test their scout skills and knowledge in a friendly competition against other units. It's a way for them to get a feel of what they need to improve on. This is usually an overnight, which allows the units to work on their patrol method and preparing meals, as well as being able to be part of a campfire with songs and skits. And that's basically what a campfire is. And that's a camporee. Next up is the Spookeree, which is a Cub Scout event and a Scouts BSA event. And this gives units a chance to come up with fun Halloween games for Cub Scouts to participate in, as well as handing out candy and snacks, AKA trick or treat. This year, an award will be handed out to the unit with the favorite site. Doesn't mean the ghouliest site, it means the favorite site. Next down the list, Klondike Derby, January 27th to the 29th. It's like a camporee, but in the cold. Unit goes from event to event, pulling a sled with supplies they need for the events, included overnights if the unit chooses to. I know some units kind of don't really like going out in the cold overnight anyways. I know I love it. Then after that, if you want to scroll down, Brian, just a little bit further, go back up. You were looking for the Polar Bear Derby. All right, Polo Derby, February 4th. It's the weekend following the Klondike. This is a chance for Cub Scout units to participate in fun winter games and competition. It's a day event, and awards are presented to the first, second, and third packs, and also for each one of the events, I believe. Next up, District Pinewood Derby. Units can send their top finishers from their Pinewood Derbies to compete in the District Pinewood Derby. Trophies for the top finishers in Lions, Tigers, Wolves, Bears, Weevils, and Arrow of Lights, plus the top 3 finishers overall. This year it was a great success. We had a great crew of gentlemen who pretty much ran the show on that, and everything went smoothly, surprisingly. Last is the Spring Camporee, or second to last, Spring Camporee. This event is going to be in conjunction with the Cub Scout Chug Wagon, and it allows the units to come with their own events for the Cubs to participate in. There is also Scouts BSA portion where the units complete, as in most camporees, and events against each other and or the clock. And last but not least, can't forget the mysterious Chuck Wagon. What is it? It's a different it's for Cub Scouts, AKA, if you notice on the schedule, blue is Cub Scouts, green is Scouts BSA. It's a activities with a Western theme where Cub packs move their covered wagon from one activity to another. And the covered wagon can be built out of an old radio flyer and some hula hoops and a sheet and decorated to the pack's liking. And that pretty much wraps up activities.
I will post a copy with corrected dates to the roundtable page. Thank you for that, gentlemen. Ken, do you have any words relative to Soaring Eagle? I know they have stuff in the works. I know they've at least picked a weekend for an awards dinner, correct?
I believe you're correct. I don't have any of those dates, Brian. I apologize.
Okay.
Dan would have had all those. So
Yeah, I believe Soaring Eagle is talking about October 1st or 2nd for the district awards dinner, which would be a potluck meal, and details will be forthcoming. And I know the date for the Klondike Derby is set. That is always the first Saturday in February, so that all of us can go to Scout Sunday smelling like smoke.
and there was a discussion that we still have to get a location for and fine tune for another camporee in the mix too. So those are going to get onto the PACE program.
Yeah. So things are happening. Districts are working. Thank you, Ken. We're coming up on 8:35 and we're budgeted till 8:30. So I'm considering this a win, even though we're not early. I want to thank all the folks who participated and pitched in.
Brian?
Yes.
If I could just interject.
Please do. Please do. All right, David.
In fact, it's a great way to finish up with maybe the highlight of High Adventure. And again, I really appreciate our Scoutmaster in our neighboring town, Mr. Shepard, essentially doing the marketing for me. I just wanted to mention two things. One is that, and there's a lot of information on the Heart of New England's website with respect to both the Philmont contingent. Again, it's never too early to start thinking about Philmont. In particular, we're going to be going out a little bit later this year looking for troops that the contingent will help support, organize to go to Philmont in 2024. It sounds like that's forever off, but it'll be here before you know it. And then maybe even more near and dear to a lot of us is the National Jamboree. We are looking to send a troop to the National Jamboree, again, July 16th to July 29th, 2023, down at Bechtel. There's information on the site. The site does reference that we had hoped to have the payments in and troop fully built by beginning of May, but we're extending that. So there's still opportunities for both youth under 18, what's called young adults, 18 to 21, and also adult leadership. to join the Troop and Go. It's a phenomenal time. If you've never been to a jamboree, it's one of the highlights of potentially your scouting career. So Brian, with that, again, all of that is on the Heart of New England website. With that, I can shut up.
Well, you're very succinct about that, David, but thank you. And thanks to you and to everybody else who presented tonight. It took some effort to get some of this stuff put together, and you know, it boils down to the whole rationale for us being here for an hour and a half is to help you on the front lines who will actually deliver the program, give you all the tools we possibly can to help you do it the best you possibly can. That being said, we're always, and Chrissy and a bunch of other folks here who have talked about Wood Badge will tell you that you know, feedback's a gift. We get driven by your feedback to us in terms of what we're doing. We have a slew of email addresses that you can address questions and comments to. And likewise, for those of you who registered, we have a slew of email addresses for folks that if you come to us and say, you know, hey, what about this or that? Don't be a bit surprised if we turn around and say, well, can you help us getting this together? Both of our district committees and a lot of our council positions currently sit vacant, and we should have a really large wanted poster sitting in front of the office in Rutland saying that we need help with this and we need help with that. And I'm also a Cub Scout PAC committee chair, so I know what it's like trying to get adults who are just getting involved with our program to step up and help out. A lot of parents have told me, well, I did this because my son or my daughter was in the PAC and now they're moving on. So, and my response is, then why not stick around and do it for yourself this time and enjoy it instead of feeling like it's a task? We can always use help. Dan Newman and Rob Cosman, who we handle the district committee and the commissioner service for Quinnipoxet. Ken Simpson and Dan Scotty, who we handle the same functions for Soaring Eagle, can always use help. And, you know, we may be reaching out to you because you may have a talent or a skill or a knack that can help us with something. And we'll reach out with a very realistic expectation. And we ask you to listen. And if you don't think we're going to listen to you, then come and harass us and then we can talk then. Other than that, I have nothing else to say. This has been a great night. I'm going to shut off the recording.
Thanks, everybody.